Oh, yeah. And we're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the All Gains
Pod-
podcast. This is a live stream
Technically.
coming at you once again. Well, it's more of a live stream than a
It's
podcast, I'd say.
Yeah.
But we're back, and a couple days we were not live streaming, but now we are. So hopefully these mics are sounding pretty good.
As you can see, we're not using the big ass pop filters.
Excuse me
we're
while
using
I
little
test
boys.
my own mic.
Yeah, we're checking these out. We're trying to make sure that these work. And I'm going to just keep talking just so he can test and make sure that we are sounding sexy, because that is the reason that we got these, to make sure that we sound good.
That is right.
And how are we sounding? Do we sound good? How do we sound? Do we sound? Do we
Yep,
sound
I'm
good?
just testing our own equipment, guys. Don't you mind me?
we
We are
sound-
still young in the YouTube game. We are still young in the technology game. We are still, we're slowly hustling every day, trying to perfect this
Killing it.
technology. It is not always easy to do, but we are trying our best.
Yeah, we try to be killing it.
A lot of people don't talk about the struggles of actually getting a podcast, the live stream YouTube channel going with all the technology and stuff malfunctions, and we have to work on it, but it's all part of the grind. It's all about when you guys start your own hustle and you guys work out the technicalities that go into it. It is work. It is a lot of thinking and detailing and making sure things work just to get stuff off the ground. It is a lot that goes into it, and we learn a little bit more every day.
Exactly.
So with that said, we're going to do a little bit of a review today of I guess it was a tweet, or is
it's a pretty much a big thread on Twitter.
Now, the author of this thread is Patrick Bet David. This guy, I would say, he's very underrated. I have nothing but good things to say. Everything I watch of him is very nice. He has a YouTube channel, PBD podcast. He also does the Valuetainment channel. He is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. He's very successful and he's very smart. And I think that a lot of things he says is correct, and he's very interested in learning and always improving, just like we are. And he made a tweet. We'll pull it up now for you guys. What is it called, Mike?
The 25 rules for young men. And so it's just a huge, it's just a huge big thread with 25 different things, and we're gonna go through each one. We're gonna dissect.
That's
yeah,
right.
We're gonna make sure we go through each.
It's
each
called
rule.
25 Rules for Young Men.
Yeah, so let's go with 25 all through here, and let's go with number one, right?
Yep. So I'm just gonna start by saying this is a more informative, educational, but also getting you guys some value kind of content. This is we're trying to improve lives daily. We're trying to get people to critically think, and this is a good way of doing that.
Yeah, and so if anyone that is watching the video live or is watching after the fact when it's a VOD, if you have any questions or have anything to say to add to the conversation, I say definitely put it in the chat if you're watching live, or put it in the comments below with any specific rule that comes up to you that sparks your interest and you want to talk about it. Definitely do so. And if you're live and have something to say, if we see it, we'll pull it up and we'll talk about that as well.
You guys, if you want to communicate with us, you can type in the live chat. That is one of the awesome things about going live on YouTube and getting all the technology right. That's one of the perks, is that we can communicate directly with you, the viewer. If anyone has any questions, concerns, comments, interesting thoughts, you are more than welcome to always either write in the comment section if you're watching on playback, or you can type it in the live chat. One of the most important things, and the reasons why we do this, is to get interaction and to have people critically think. You are 100%. We encourage you guys to criticize us as well. If you guys disagree with stuff we say, absolutely call us out.
Yeah,
because we support discussion, critical discussion, to make everyone better, because we believe in free speech and free debate, and there's nothing more better for humanity than to communicate in a healthy discussion that further improves the life of mankind. Exactly. So let's go into number one.
Yeah, number one, and it's a pretty good one. It says number one is know the difference between love and lust. That's honestly, it's very underrated, because when you're young, you don't really especially if you're inexperienced with that, you don't really know the difference at all. Like, you'll just think that that lust is love. And from personal experiences in the past, that's definitely been a thing. And over time, when you actually sit down and you really think about the situations that you've put yourself in, you can tell that what it was not what you thought it was. And that's something that a lot of young men really need to uh, a lot of young men really just need to slow down and really think about the actions that they make, because if they think that something that they're lusting over is actually, if they think that something that they love is actually just lust, it can actually just screw their trajectory of their future, and it can make a lot of different mistakes, and it can be a detriment to their either their financial future or their just mental future.
Yeah, a lot of you guys will fuck a girl one time and you will fall heads over heels. Oh my god, my soulmate! Oh my god, I gotta marry her tomorrow! Oh my god, your guys' idealism completely destroys you. Sometimes you guys go absolutely insane. It was just sex. It was just one night, and sometimes a lot of guys don't realize that girls love sex too.
Yes.
Sometimes, mostly not always, because we have testosterone. So scientifically, we're probably gonna want to fuck more, unless you're killing your testosterone with carbs and sugar and bullshit daily lifestyles. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get
But
there.
a lot of times, you guys, a lot of guys don't even understand women, so they don't know the difference between love and lust, and they think that just because they had sex with one time, the woman's totally in love with them. But no, sometimes girls just want to fuck. Sometimes you're just the guy that the girl's using to get away, and that's okay. Sex is great. Sex is fun. Don't don't think too hard on it unless it's like your girlfriend or something. And then there's love, right? Love, which is it's a chemical compound in your brain, pretty much going. We can get into that in another day, but you should know between like something just casual or when things go deeper, when you really get into a woman's mind, or when things get really heated, or whether it's just like one night. Okay, cool. Like knowing the difference can be like life or death when it comes to marriage, and it can and knowing what you want, knowing who you are. There's so many things.
Yeah. There's so many things that really go into that, and I feel like there's probably going to be more rules that will tie back to this first rule. But we're gonna go on to the second one, because you gotta remember there is 25 rules. So let's just go and continue on. So this one is, it's okay to go to the movies by yourself.
Now,
I
why is this,
actually know
yeah,
some people that do this, and like it's totally
including
cool.
me? Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Now, why? Now, what is the more deeper meaning behind this rule? I would say it's first of all being comfortable with who you are and what you want to do with your time. So, people are afraid to go to the movies by themselves because they are afraid of being alone. Some individuals cannot handle being alone for a certain amount of time. And if they go to the movie theater and they look around and they see all these couples and other people and families together, they're going to get a little jealous or insecure, or they get sad, or they get lonely because they're not comfortable with being themselves. They're not comfortable being alone, and they don't view themselves as that prize. Like, I am the man. I don't care what others think. I want to see this movie. I don't need no bitch or no brother. I don't need nobody to go to the movies with. I'm going to go because I want to see this movie and I just want to relax. And I don't care if I'm with anyone or not. I love me. And the fact that I get to spend time with me is the most important thing to me. Now, a lot of guys do not have that security about themselves, and they always feel like they need people around, and they're not really comfortable in their own skin. So they don't go to the movies by themselves. Well, there's nothing wrong with going to the movies by yourself. Who gives a shit? But a lot of people care what people think too much, and they might also be afraid of being judged if others see them with the movies alone. Oh, maybe a girl flaked on him. Well, I mean, you never know. But a lot of guys are just not being not comfortable with being by themselves, and they're not comfortable being who they are. It's a confidence issue, and you got to work on that if you're not. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I also think like it's also yeah, because you brought up a lot of good points with being comfortable with yourself. I feel like it's also because like especially coming from someone who is an only child, so I never really like had interactions with other people like that were at least my age group uh in the like at home at all times, like 24/7, because like you'll have interactions with close people that are around your age, from like school or whatever other activities, but when you get home there is nobody else. It's just you and like your parents or guardians or whatever, and you don't really get that uh extra time to like interact with people. And so like being alone kind of like helps you with that, especially for this specific thing, because like you're completely okay with like just chilling by yourself, like doing whatever it may be. I know people that will even go to diners like by themselves and just eat just eat at a table alone. And I feel like it like you said, it's you got to be very comfortable with yourself, and you got to like really not care about what other people think, because society will just try to make fun of you for being alone, because you're not with someone specific or like with anybody. And so they'll just try to shame you or make you feel bad about yourself, but you don't have to feel bad about yourself. It's what you want to do. If you want to go to the movies and see whatever movie by yourself, you could just do that. And if you're okay with doing that, then I don't see a real issue with anything with that in that nature. And so three, this is an important one. Hygiene is more important than you think. If this is really something that we have to explain, I mean, like, yes, young men like to be dirty, and young men like to like be very quick and through get through just to get into the day. I understand where that comes from, but when you get older, hygiene is very important, especially if you want to present yourself in a manner that is, where you feel yourself as like, I would, okay, I put in quotes, high value, right? Andrew, what do you think of this?
Yeah, a lot of people, they just don't have any ambition to take care of themselves, and it's very sad, especially coming from someone with a nose. Because I have had the unpleasant experiences of dealing with and being interactions with people who do not take care of themselves at all in that respect.
Oh yeah.
And you have to it's also like do not when people know that you smell bad, they're just not going to interact with you the same positive ways they would if you smell good, because smell is hits certain things in the brain that I can't really talk about. I'm not a fucking scientist, so I don't really know. But I think you guys know what I mean. It hits certain chemicals in the brain that like kind of wire you to feel a certain way about certain people, like the way they smell and the way they go. So if you give someone a handshake and like go for like a bro hug, guys, what I mean, and then they smell bad, it's like, oh, there's gonna be that like, oh crap, kind of feel, and it's gonna tone down the interaction a little bit more. So I
Yeah.
think, and or like hygiene, like brushing your teeth, does your breath smell, or just doing your best to try to keep yourself together. It also goes like the style, the way you dress, and just the way you feel about yourself, or getting a good haircut, keeping yourself shaven in certain aspects, or keeping a beard down. There's so many things that come with
Yeah.
hygiene,
And the
but it
thing
also
is
dictates, your reputation stuff,
yeah,
and you
exactly.
don't want to be that smelly guy in the back of the room. You just don't
Yeah.
want to be that guy.
No. And it's also a thing of, it also helps boost like how you feel about yourself, because like we talked about on the channel, when you eat right and you start doing those things, like you feel more positive about yourself, and you get a boost of positivity, so it makes you want to stay in that light. Another thing that will help that is by always having good hygiene. By having good hygiene, then you can really see like the difference, and you can see how much it can boost more positivity within your own mind and in your body, and the way that you interact with other people. Because if you have great hygiene, you will have an easier time, dealing with specific interactions in the real world. That can go with jobs. It can go with dating wise, stuff like that. There's so many different benefits to having good hygiene. Not only just to make sure that you don't like either lose teeth or just so you don't
Especially
stink.
if you're on a date as well. If you're on
Yeah,
a date
yeah,
and you smell,
exactly.
the girl, it's gonna really
Yeah,
lessen your likelihood of either smashing or seeing her again.
yeah.
So
Speaking of
you
speaking
always
of
want to
that,
smell good.
speaking of that, number four is never date a friend's ex.
Why should this even be said? I don't know.
This
But
should
a
be
lot of
like an
people are
unwritten
fucking
rule.
morons, and they go ahead and they smash the girl that their friend was dating. You don't do that. You just don't do it. You just don't. I mean, that's like a moral. It should be like in moral code just to not do it. But a lot of you guys, you just
Just
mess
do
that up
it.
completely. I've seen so many stories of like friends smashing each other's girls, and I mean, we reacted to
Yeah,
loyalty tests on the. You guys could check it out.
yeah. There's a bunch of
Where
live streams of us doing that.
yeah. So guys, you just don't do that, especially to a bro. You just don't mess with your friend's ex. I mean, he's already been in that. Why do you want to just replicate? Why do you want to try to get in that too? It's lame, and it shows your lack of abundance. You're so desperate for pussy, then you have to go for the one that your friend went to. it just doesn't feel right. Like, I would never go after any of Mike's exes. It's just not it just would not feel right. I don't think I could even get hard for any of his exes. I just don't think I could go through with it. Like, even if I went up to her, I just like, nope, can't do it.
Nope.
My dick would
Just
not comply
yeah, just be
anyway.
like, oh no, this was Mike's. Nope, can't
Oh
do
damn,
that.
Mike was in that. I just don't
I
know if I
just can't be
can.
in
Yeah, and then and then Mike
that.
would have
That'd be
to.
the same with me.
Yeah, and Mike would have a hard time getting inside any one of the 100 girls as well. Like, they would,
Even though I would probably wouldn't want to. It's all right. No offense.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's just would not. So a lot of you guys that do that, you guys are just you guys need help, and you guys need to have more abundance with women and not be so caught up.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you
because
just don't do that.
the only women in the world does not exist within your friend group. They exist outside of that
Yeah,
too.
stop being so
So
desperate.
yeah, please. So yeah, so now we're gonna go to number 5. So it says stay informed on what's going on. Don't be a sheep. I agree. The thing is with me though is that I'm only informed in the things that I feel like I need to be informed in, and then other stuff I just absolutely reject. So it's not like I blindly follow, I just blindly reject it. Like I just like I don't care. Like it doesn't exist. I don't want to I don't like it and I just throw it away. But there are things that can be happening in the world that you probably should be aware of, especially when it comes to things like with nutrition and certain like articles and stuff. I know Andrew; he's always on. You can always find him on Twitter, just finding different like articles and stuff, and always commenting on them and stuff, and being
Yeah, I'm
like,
just like, bro, because there's just so
yeah,
much crap on Twitter. It's just so horrible.
it's
I
so
like
bad.
to troll. I'm a big troll guy,
Yeah,
but like, it's like kind of you need to know because I think the media is pretty much the enemy, and you need to know what the enemy is doing. So you should stay updated on whatever the media wants you to believe. I'm
yeah,
not saying believe what the media says. I'm saying be aware of what the media wants you to believe, so you can be a couple steps ahead of them. So when they come out with the bullshit, you're already ahead of the bullshit. So you already know what to expect. And you already know how to react.
exactly,
You should know what's going on in the world, so you can be better prepared for when things go down. Because right now, especially in America, things are not good. Things are wacky out here. Mental illness is spreading like
it's everywhere.
wildfire. You should know what's going on in the world so you can be prepared to defend your own life if things start coming after you. So just always be prepared, always stay updated, try to remain educated and open-minded as possible so you can make logical decisions that will better improve your life when it comes to current events going on in and out of America.
Exactly. So we'll go to number 6 now. So it's number 6 is have a sense of humor, but don't joke about dreams and goals. Yeah, and that also I also will add don't self-deprecate. But there's probably going to be that in here too. But I just want to. I feel like bundling that in here is something that you need to have because like having a sense of humor is fine and is good. Like you want to have one, but you don't want to be joking about like yourself or like the things that you want to do because
Yeah, that's so serious.
it
That is your passion in
yeah
life.
it
That's what you
hinders
that's
yourself.
yeah, that's what you got to put a lot of focus and emphasis on that.
Yeah, you because like I feel like by joking about the things that you like and the things that you want to do, it kind of hinders your ability to excel for those things. Like if you joke about like your own self, then you might hinder, how like any interactions you may have with other people by doing that. Because like you couldn't be on. Let's say for example, I see this a lot, especially when we you can go and watch some of our older videos with where we react to the button. A lot of the guys on there, they will self-deprecate themselves and they will joke and try to pretend that like they have a sense of humor, but they'll just put themselves in the joke and bring themselves down, and that just doesn't work. It never will work. Don't ever try to do stuff like that because it just hinders interactions that you may have, and definitely never ever do that about dreams and goals that you may have. Don't just don't.
Yeah, because you got to take that stuff seriously and you got to not be always flaunting to everybody about what you're doing. Sometimes you got to move in silence. You just got to keep moving, keep hustling, and get what you want and not feel the need to involve everybody in it. Just do what you got to do and just keep on the grind, but just don't put yourself down with it. Don't go too crazy with it. Just keep on it and don't make a joke out of it because if you do, then other people will make a joke out of it. Make sure that your goals and your ambition is serious and you're always on that grind.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to have a sense of humor, just don't put yourself within that humor. So number 7, study the type of people who upset you and why. This,
This goes back to like understanding yourself
yeah,
and knowing who you are. Because a lot of people, let's face it, you don't know who you are. You have a lot of work to do on yourself, and you need to get on that immediately. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble navigating the world because you can't even navigate yourself, which is the most important thing you have. So take care of it and learn as much about yourself as you can. You need to understand what upsets you, what motivates you, what makes you sad, happy, horny. You need to know all that stuff because it's going to play a part in some point in your life. Understand, try to study yourself. So when you get upset, critically think logically, why am I getting upset? What did they say that triggered me? And what can I do to improve this so I can not be so triggered in the future and use it to your advantage and use it as a learning experience? Find out who upsets you and how to avoid being upset by those kinds of people or avoid those people entirely. It could be one emotional outburst that could save your life.
yeah, and with just dealing with understanding what makes you upset and dealing with other people that trying to figure out why other people want to make you upset is another thing. You want to, like, if someone is like trying their hardest, you should probably not have conversations with them. You probably should not, unless if you want to debate them and try to persuade them into, maybe there's a specific reason why they're doing it. Maybe they're envious of you. Maybe, you try to vet out the reasons why they want to do this, because there are people that, that might be jealous, or you might have done something that you might not have realized that you did that might have upset them, so now they're trying to get back at you. Certain things like that, you gotta understand, but like, don't try to make it obvious as why that, like, that's what you're trying to do. You just want to do it for yourself, and then to assess the situation and figure out how to go forward. The best thing to do is to keep your, like, at least yourself positive, right? If people are trying to upset you, don't let the negativity affect you. Try to remain positive. And if people are coming at you with negativity, try to see if you can give them some positivity. Maybe they'll change their minds. Maybe they'll have a change of heart. You never know. But okay, so we'll go to number 8 now. So it's gonna be stand up to bullies. You'll only have to do it once. And
So
yeah,
yeah,
we
you
don't like
guys,
bullies
yeah,
here.
you don't want people to constantly bully you and put you down and give you crap all the time. You will have to stand up for yourself, of course, at one point. Try to do it as quickly as you can. You want to get out of that rut. You don't want to let people bring you down all the time, right? And when he says you only have to do it once, maybe how I interpret it is if you stand up to someone once and you finally get that backbone, you'll stick to that backbone now that you know what you will and won't tolerate. So maybe that's what he meant by it. So
Yeah.
if you stand up for yourself once, now you know you have a better grasp of who you are and what you are willing to tolerate, and that way you won't tolerate that crap ever again.
Yeah, exactly. And if you leave a good impression on that specific bully, then they probably won't mess with you again. Maybe they'll have more respect for you. Maybe that will uh, be more beneficial for you. It's better to always try to stick up for yourself. Once someone starts to, try to bully you or whatever, always try to, stick up for yourself and put a foot down. Don't deal with that, that type of stuff. It's just not necessary, to be honest. And we'll go to number 9. So number 9, it pretty much falls off with that. It's don't bully people weaker than you. And yeah, so like people that are trying to bully you, they might feel like they might feel that you're weak, and so that's why they would try to bully you. Sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just like a complex of why they want to bully you. But for yourself, when you are in the driver's seat, don't, like, there's no reason that for you to like bully somebody, especially when you know that they're already weaker than you. It just doesn't help either party. There is no reason for you to do it for yourself, because they're already weaker than you. You're getting absolutely nothing out of it. If you were bullying, let's say, someone who was a lot stronger than you, mentally, physically, however you want to interpret it, it at least will give you value, and it'll probably give you a good fight, to be honest. But I feel like you should be. I'm it's I don't want to word it in a way where it doesn't people might take it a different way, but you shouldn't be trying to bully people that are weaker than you. You should, if you feel like it's necessary, you should be helping them build up, uh and should be working with them to make them better, just like how you're trying to make yourself better.
Yeah, you should just don't be a dickhead to
Yeah.
people in general. Just
Yeah.
try to understand everybody's on their own journey and try to be a little more compassionate. Sometimes you gotta say some harsh truths, and that's all right.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Harsh
times
truths
you
is
just
important.
gotta learn to try to be kind, and if you know someone's weaker than you, try to just be a good person and let good karma happen to you, and just try to be good to them, and then help them out, and then good karma will come back to you, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna hit number 10 now. It's gonna be learn how to tell stories. That this is very, very helpful. Telling stories. Uh, it's actually really funny. When I was at work, there was someone came up to me, had a question. It pretty much trying to call me out on something, but it wasn't going to affect me because I know I wasn't wrong in the situation. But what happened was tried explaining to the person like what like because there was like a misunderstanding. I explained to the person and I brought up something that it kind of open endedly in the conversation, and the person had asked me like what I meant by that, and so because she was still a little upset about like this specific situation, so I immediately like answered her question about what she was talking about with that specific topic that was kind of like outside what the situation that she was trying to bring up. And so I went into this big whole story, and I was explaining all these different things using facts and all these different things, and the person was very invested in the story and in the conversation, and she completely forgot about what she was upset about. She completely forgot like that she was really upset with something just like 5 minutes before, but because she enjoyed the story I was telling and like the information that I was giving, this person like she's completely forgotten. She was like, "Okay, see you later," and that's probably the best thing to do is have being able to tell stories and being able to manipulate a situation to your benefit. Now, it's not. I'm not saying like manipulate people to to do bad things or whatever or in a negative way. It's more of just like trying to get like put yourself in a situation that benefits you, but also doesn't harm anybody in the process. And tell me what you think about this.
Yeah, so being a good storyteller, it comes with a good amount of social intelligence and how to get people's minds racing and be intelligent, right? So if you could tell a good story in any situation, no matter what it is, you can get people's minds racing. You take them off the negative stuff, especially if you're very entertaining and charismatic. If you say while laughing and being oh and ah, and, being very like an entertainer, like I do that to get people to laugh. No matter what situation you're in, you can make any situation better by telling a really good story in a fascinating way that gets people's minds off the unfortunate scenarios of life. Especially doing it in an intriguing way, but you have to have good social intelligence to do that. Learn to just be entertaining as well. You can make good friends by being a good storyteller and getting people's attention, and then making friends as a result. It's good it's a good networking tool. It's a good tool to be a charismatic person. It's always good to be working on that skill, and it is very much a skill, a skill that you
Exactly.
can improve as long as you work on it.
Exactly. And so now we will go to rule number 11. Don't lean on porn to be better in bed. Read the right books.
Either read about books or just
Or just
see what works, like I do.
yeah,
That's
just
my method. I try a little bit of everything.
yeah, just wing
Some
it.
things I don't like. I mean, oh man, I'm not trying to be explicit today, but in the future I'll explain more. But I like to try. I've tried things. Some things I just did not like.
Yeah,
But
no.
you guys need to just learn by doing it yourself. And I mean, it's my understanding to make the porn, not watch the porn. So I'd
Yeah.
rather make it, and I enjoy that. It's fun. I don't really make any money off of it, but it's still entertaining.
It's still
So yeah, that you can read the Kama Sutra and stuff like that to learn different things, but yeah, don't watch too much porn, guys. It's gonna
yeah,
rot your brain.
that's
It's
what
like
I
the
was gonna go
eggs in the
into.
frying pan. That is your brain on
On
drugs.
drugs.
Just don't do it. At
Yeah.
least too much. Just don't get carried away with it. Talk to women in real life, and then have porn in real life. Make your own porn.
Yeah, because you got to think about porn as like an over exaggeration of what happens. So the thing is that especially if you're trying to like go on it to study to how to be better, um it's just pretty much a way to just get yourself sucked into like what I call the porn matrix. It's something where like you get once you start watching it, then you just can't stop watching it, and then you want to keep watching it, and it's just not good. I feel we've actually had a conversation with a male porn star on the channel before a few years ago, Richard Cooper. He was a cool guy. He explained a lot.
Sterling Cooper.
Oh yeah, Sterling Cooper. Sorry, Sterling Cooper. He's a great guy. There's too many Coopers, and he explained a lot about like stuff like this. And but with me, like Patrick David says, to read the right books, and you could do that. Andrew, how Andrew said, You could just figure it out on your own. You just wing it. And that's perfectly fine too. You whatever works for you, whatever you want to do for yourself. If you want to read a book to figure out a specific position or a specific way of doing things to then take it into the real world situation, you could totally do that. Or if if you just want to just wing it and just be, just explore the shit, just in real time, you can do that too, and that's perfectly fine. I feel like the worst thing to do is to watch porn to figure it out because, like I said earlier, it's just an over exaggeration, and it's just not, just doesn't work.
Just talk to girls in real life.
Yeah,
Solve everything.
yeah, please. So rule number 12, you never marry a girl. You marry her entire family. Now,
Mike
I
definitely
will
knows
now
this.
let
All right,
me
Mike, this is your rule, not mine.
let me tell you something, brother. Now this rule is 100% correct. And honestly, cuz as some people know, I am married, and this is this is very true. Like I her family is great. Her dad is awesome. Probably next he's like next to my dad in awesomeness. Those two guys could literally go like on a camping trip and bring home a bear, like a dead bear. Like they're awesome guys. And I respect her entire family, and they're also really funny. And so they because you got to think about how relationships work, right? We say a lot on the channel that the woman that you want to be with has to complement your life, right? Her family uh has to kind of do the same,
Granted, she has a good
but
relationship with her family.
yeah, especially if they have a good relation. Because I mean, if they didn't have like she has a great relationship with her family and everything like that. But if she didn't, then that'd be something you have to worry about, right? So if that's in a situation that you might be in, you might want to really think about um if, like, let's say the person that you're with does not have a good relationship with, like, let's say her dad her her mom or something like that. If there's a specific thing that's going on that's not beneficial or is not positive, you might want to really think about or assess that situation over there, and you might want to double think about wanting to, if you feel like it won't matter, because let's say you just run away with her and like just leave both of your families. I mean, that's one way to do it, but I wouldn't really recommend it. And because once you become married, then like you're gonna see both sides of the family a lot. You're gonna probably see them a lot, especially like for holidays and all that type of stuff, birthdays, stuff like that. You'll start seeing them more. Not only just hers, but like yours as well. And so it's also with her having to see your family, and because you don't want to leave your family out. Definitely don't leave your family out on specific things. It's not just about her family; it's about both families, and it's important. But you need to remember that the family of her on her side definitely will tell you how what she's going through in the brain.
Yeah, just be aware that her family will be coming in and out, depending on the man you are and what you want, because the man's got to be the leader, right? So, however you want to structure it, just know that if she gets along with her family, they're going to be involved. You want to keep her close to her family and her dad and people that people she gets along with, get her a good social circle. And hopefully your wife will be with a good influential family, and that have good values and that make your life a lot easier and more smooth going forward. So, make the right decisions.
Exactly. Number 13, don't complain. You seem helpless. 80/20.
Yeah, guys, remember, just remember, no one cares about you. You know what I mean? You got to care about you. It's not to sound mean, but you know, society doesn't care about the struggle of a man. Unfortunately, you have some friends, you got the boys, some family members, but for the most part, no one really cares, and most people will not be able to help you in most situations. So you have to be self reliant a lot, and know that a lot of times you're on your own.
Yeah.
You need to make yourself a competent man at all costs, and in every realm that you can. Learn all the life skills you can. Use your time wisely. Always be learning. Always be understanding life and putting yourself through challenges that you can overcome, because they will come, and
Yeah.
you got to need to be ready. So remember, don't complain about things. Just know you need to navigate it as a man. You need to get on that grind. You need to be conquering the world at all times. You cannot let your guard down as a man. You just can't do that, especially now. These days, tough times can come at any second. So you got to be ready. Got to be prepared. You got to keep fighting no matter what.
Yeah.
A woman can get away with things a little bit more
Yeah.
because women, guys will come to her rescue. More people will help her out. But as a man, you got to be a warrior. You
Yeah.
need to be able to fight
Yeah.
in
Not many will
every
come help you.
kind of battle, psychological, physical, all that stuff. You got to be ready for anything.
Yeah. Not many will come to help you. And how I think about it this way is like people will complain, men will complain and be like, "Oh, why do these things always happen to me?" Right? But but how you should, if you are going to say something like that, and how you should say is, now why do these things keep happening to me? What am I doing that could be, that could be not beneficial to, my outlook on life? Or what is happening, what am I doing to myself, or what is going on, and how am I reacting to it that is not benefiting me? What should I
Yeah,
be doing?
you are the
That's how
common
you should
denominator
that's how you should be thinking about things. Don't try to complain. You should be questioning how you can improve.
at all times. That's
Oh,
right.
always. Um, 14. Be impressed by the right things that matter.
Yeah, people like to hate on every little thing. No, you guys should be impressed by certain things, and you should look up to certain things and take inspiration from a lot of things, especially whatever you're creating. If you're trying to create art, look at inspirational artists and people you can learn from. Be impressed by things that are meant to impress you, things that are from your passions and your purposes in life and things you want to do, right?
Yeah, like if I find out that what's his face? Elon Musk invents the time machine. I'm gonna be pretty impressed by that. I'd be like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like we're getting closer back to the
Yeah.
future.
Hopefully we can freaking fix some of this crap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, if it's like Apple just announced the iPhone 28 and it has, some sort of weird thing. I'll be like, okay, it's just another
Oh,
just
it's
another
another
Apple
just
product.
another day.
Yep.
It's all right to be
It,
impressed by
yeah.
things. Take inspiration and then create something of your own of value with that information you have.
Yeah, and anything that, I say that I might be impressed with, you might not be impressed with, but you could be impressed with other things, and that's perfectly okay. But as long as it actually matters, not only to you but to your future, and how it can benefit you, that's pretty much what is the most important. So now we will go to 15. And it is, when coming across a successful person, talk slash impress less, ask more. Yeah, I feel like that's important, especially if you want to create a pseudo mentor role, have them create a pseudo mentor role for them in your life. You want to, if you find someone who, is doing well for themselves, and you look up to them, they're doing something that you are kind of wanting to go into or whatever, ask them questions about like how they got into it, or uh how they got through certain things. And sometimes they'll actually really like to have the conversation with you and like talk about like their experience. And not only does it benefit them because they get to talk about themselves, and they get to feel good about, explaining the things that they had to accomplish or had to go through to get to where they are. Now you are learning, so you don't make the same mistakes. Like, it's good to make mistakes, but if you can learn from a mentor how to navigate specific situations to not make those mistakes, then that can also benefit you as well.
Yeah, you guys want to be it's come down to social skills, charisma, social intelligence. You want to, if you're with a successful person or like a mentor figure, you want to try to learn as much as you can from them and also make them feel good, so they'll want to be in your company, and then that successful person will want to involve themselves more with you, and then you can get a leg up in society and your role in life. And you're also making a good friend in the process, and it's a powerful networking tool. When you're around a successful person, you want to find out how they became successful. You want to try to get all the information you can. It's all about evolving at all times, so you want to find out, ask questions, let the successful person hype themselves up, learn what you can, especially if you're up and coming in the world and you want to learn more. Just be kind, ask questions, be interested, find out all the information you can, and you can be a lot more successful in life if you can really be good at understanding social skills and learning how to talk to people the right way, making them feel good. And then they, in return, give you knowledge, and they give you a lot of information that can help you become better at life. And it's very important that you work on this social tool. It's best not to always be talking about yourself all the time. It's like one of the laws of power of Robert Greene. I forgot which one, but you want to be always trying to be a positive person. And by asking successful people questions and being interested and trying to understand, you're going to make them feel good and you're going to really create a good reputation for yourself, which is very important in the world of social media and the internet. You want to try to be create the best reputation as possible, and learning from successful people is a very important tool how to do that. Don't let your ego stop you from asking people and for advice or help or learning things. It's all part of the learning process. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like I said earlier, a lot of people that you ask might actually be really excited to talk about it. They might actually really enjoy, explaining, the things that they went through and the how to help somebody else, because sometimes they didn't have anybody to help them, and so they might feel good to help somebody that might be trying to pretty much follow in their footsteps, I would say. So we're going to go into the next one, which is have a memorable style.
That is where you not mimicking people comes into place. You have to be your own entity. Be that guy. By that guy, be yourself. You need to be the best version of yourself at all times. Create a style, a unique vision of who you are that people will remember you by, and it's going to be a good. It's like a musician. Everybody knows what Mick Jagger is. Everybody knows the guy from Kiss. Who is it?
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, everybody knows Gene Simmons, by the way. He has that look, that style. Create your own style, your own persona that people
Yeah.
like. I'm the guy who always wears shorts in the winter. I am that guy. People know
I
that
think
guy.
there's a lot of other guys like you too.
Yeah, right. So, but create your own style and your own vision of yourself, and then it'll be a very good tool.
Yeah, and yeah, that also goes with a lot of things that we've been saying, especially when it comes to around the whole situation with people like Andrew Tate. You don't like take things from them, but don't try to emulate them. Don't try to be them. You want to take specific information and certain ways of thinking and maneuver it into your lifestyle. You don't want to just completely try to copy and paste them. You don't want to be the next Patrick Bet David. You don't want to be the next Andrew Tate. You want to be you. You want to be yourself. Don't be a carbon copy of another person, because you you won't be remembered at all for doing that at all. You those people will be remembered because they have their own specific style. But the people who copy those people will never be remembered. And so that is something you should keep in mind at all times.
Exactly.
And so now we'll go to 17. Don't feel guilty for being ambitious.
Don't be afraid to go for what you want, no matter
Yeah.
what anybody says or does. You gotta don't be afraid to be the best out of your group, to be the 1%. Exercise every day. Do what you got to do. Work harder than everybody else. Don't let anyone put you down. Say you work too much. No, just keep it up. Be the best, no matter what the cost and no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. You want to outwork everybody. If you want to get a goal and you're really passionate about it and you really want to get there, don't be, don't feel guilty doing that. You don't feel bad because you're going to the gym, 6 days a week, 5 in the morning, and your buddies are all only wanting to go at like 6 or 7 because they want to get some extra sleep, but you want to get up earlier because you want to get more things done during the day. So you want to get up and get a workout in really early. Don't feel bad about that. It's something that you want to do. It's something that you feel that it will help you with your goals. And so sometimes you just got to let that happen. And if people get upset about it, then well, don't feel guilty about it. Just do the things that you want to do. They'll have to understand what you're doing. And true bros, true people that that you hang out with and talk to, they'll see what you're doing. They'll if you talk to them, tell them what you're trying to do, they will respect and understand completely, and they won't really try to make you feel bad for doing stuff like that.
Pretty much well said.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to 18 now. We're getting close to the end now. Be mentally and emotionally ready to lose loved ones. Yeah, it's because losing loved ones kind of it like really sucks. It really sucks, especially when it comes to like immediate family members. But like you also got to think about that, life and death are not only one and the same, but they're just part of the whole existence, right? We are born to die, and it like we feel a specific way when a family member dies because it's an emotional reaction
It's gonna
because
happen.
we will never have another interaction with that person ever again. And if especially if it's someone that you've been, you've interacted with a lot during your life, it's kind of like a nostalgia hit, and it makes you sad. And depending on who specifically it is, like if it's like, let's say, your mother or father, that might be like really really heartbreaking, might really hurt you hard. But if it's like a cousin or like a, like a distant uncle that you haven't really talked to, it won't hurt as bad. But no, regardless of who it could be, it, like, you have to be just ready and emotionally, just mentally ready that it's going to happen at some point. And you have to just be ready for it, because you don't want to lose yourself and lose where you were in whatever it is you were doing. I know a lot of people that that had like these ambitions and goals, and they ended up like not going to like one of their loved ones' funerals because that they were so focused in on the specific things that they were doing. And some people say that they had regretted it. Some people say that they don't, because by them not going, the people that say that they don't, they say that by them not going to that funeral, even though it hurt, um, it made them better. By, they be either became more successful, they got through whatever goals that they were trying to do, and it makes them feel good. And so it's like, it feels like weird, and sometimes people can take it a different way. But I feel like if you have a specific goal and you just can't, either you can't be there, or you just can't let these things negatively affect you. I know a lot of people that also have been mentally and emotionally affected negatively by losing a loved one, and it completely took them off the rails, off of course, and sometimes they just can't get back on.
Yeah, guys, you have to understand that at one point, everyone you know is going to be dead. They're all going to be dead. That's why you need to enjoy them while you have them. Appreciate what you have. Understand that time is undefeated. There's nothing you can do except enjoy the moment. So a lot of you guys that are being depressed for no reason, stop it. Just enjoy who is here. That's all we have is time, and the time you use. It's your choice how you spend it. So spend it wisely. Everyone will be gone at some point. So be ready for that. It has to happen. It must. Life doesn't care what you think. Life is going to happen no matter what. The earth will keep spinning. So this is part of living life. You get the rewards and the risks of being alive. So it is just what it is. You
Yep.
just got to be ready
Yep.
and navigate the best you can while you can. So what's number?
Number 19, always have some cash, condoms, and a power bank.
So true. So true.
Yeah, I know you
So
can attest.
fucking true. Yeah, guys, you never know when things are gonna hit the fan, and you never know when you're gonna have sex, because you might meet a girl one day at a coffee shop, and you might need that condom. Always have a condom on you. That is, even if you're a virgin as a man, I don't care. Just carry one on you, just in case. You never know. You just never know. You don't want to have any accidental pregnancies or be an idiot. Don't be an
Yeah,
idiot.
don't be dumb.
Carry, yeah, don't be dumb. Same thing with cash. You never know when your card will not work, and you never know when shit's gonna hit the fan. So just always have cash on you. Just be prepared. You at any store or anything you want, just have cash just in case. Life happens. We all understand that. Whenever things happen, you should just be ready. Always be prepared to navigate through life, no matter what. Have
Yeah.
your wallet with you. Don't forget things. Always be prepared for anything.
Yeah, exactly. And with the power bank, I had it sucks that the world now pretty much revolves around the phone. And so I feel like having a power bank or having a way to charge your phone is necessary, especially when companies want to pretty much screw over your battery and make your battery drain for no reason. And so you have to continuously charge it. And so never I feel like having a power bank is great, especially when you work in a field where you have to be on your phone. Like, on if you like are a marketer or social media, you're an influencer, like, or a person on YouTube like us. You always want to be able to be on the phone to either respond to people, to interact with uh your followers and stuff like that. You want to be able to at all times be able to do that. And especially if there's a specific, you're in a specific emergency, maybe like you crash your car and you have no way of getting back home and your phone is going to die. And so having a power bank on you can definitely help you from not from not being stuck stranded somewhere. That would, that's just one example. But
You really
power
just never
banks,
know.
yeah, power, like, again, all of these three are all bundled together because life will happen to you, and if you're not ready for it, then you're going to be screwed. Regardless if it's cash, if it's condoms, or if it's a power bank. If you don't have any of these three in the specific situation where you might need it, you're going to be screwed. So we'll go to number 20 now. So it's going to be aware of your level of sensitivity.
It goes back to knowing who you are, what you're willing, what you can tolerate, how emotionally stable you are. Because a lot of you guys, you have no emotional intelligence and you flip out over anything. So be prepared. Don't be dumb. Your sensitivity. A lot of you guys are not sensible at all, and you lose your shit in the blink of an eye. You guys should know yourself more than anything, and you should know what triggers you, what does not. So you should always be prepared by what you know about yourself to handle any situation that ever occurs. Once again, it goes back to being prepared for anything as a man.
Yeah. And people, like you were saying, people are just, they're ridiculous. They're crybabies. They react negatively over the littlest things. Uh, I feel like if you are someone, especially if you're always on the internet, um you should have some sort of backbone, or just, or if you've ever been on an Xbox live chat into like 2008, 2009, and you're between there, you should not be getting butthurt by someone on the internet at all. And you shouldn't be, bitching or moaning about, stuff, or like saying, oh, I'm offended over this joke or whatever. You should be able to take pretty much anything and be able to run with it, and be not be able to get upset or uh pretty much by anything anyone says. Like, just live your life, and who cares? Honestly, who cares about what other people either think of you? I mean, if you want to take the criticism and like work on yourself, that's good. But like, if people are just bashing you just to bash you, like, who cares? Like, they're not you. They're probably doing a lot worse than you. That's probably why they're coming at you. Just be careful.
Yeah, guys, always just be prepared for anything, and you just gotta navigate life the best way you can. I mean, Mike said it pretty well, actually.
Mm, I try. I really do. But let's go. We got like four left now, I think. So we're at 21. Regardless of what you get paid for or get paid per hour, give your best. The effort and attitude always matters.
So it's
Yes.
like if you work at a fast food, say, well, why does it matter? I'm barely getting paid anyway. I think you should take pride in your work no matter what you're doing. Enjoy the process at the best you can while you're at it. It's never too late to, always be, just also comes back to developing a very good reputation for yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, just try to do your best at it. That way, not even for the job, do it for yourself, just so you're being your best self and you're constantly evolving and learning and trying your best to make any situation that you're in as a man the best kind of situation.
Yeah. I remember a lot of my old jobs. I hated, I loathed, I literally loathed being there. Loathed the job, loathed everything. But like, I did the best that I could because it was not for the company, or it wasn't for the people I worked for, but it was for me. I wanted to, I felt like I can do a good job at whatever it is I do. And so I felt like it was necessary for me to do that, and be and have a standard for myself. And it shows. And a lot of people are like, a lot of people that I work with said that I was probably one of the best workers there because I put in the effort. It was and it wasn't because I wanted to make the company look good. No, I rather them look like shit. I did it because I want to look good. I want it to be for me, not from them. And when I'm at work, 9 times out of 10, I try to have a good attitude. Especially in my old jobs. In my old jobs, I really was like very negative because I just didn't want people to go there, because you shouldn't be going to that place anyway. But when I was there, and I was like, when I was working hard, like putting in that effort, I would try to have a great attitude and try to, because your attitude and how you interact with the people also goes hand in hand with your effort. You if you have a if you have a shitty attitude, especially to other coworkers or clientele, customers, whatever it is, it can negative if you have a bad attitude, it'll negatively affect you and your status in whatever work that you do. You could be a drive through uh you know uh worker, whatever, that gets the orders through the headset or whatever. You could be one of those people, and if your attitude is really bad, then your store is going to get a lot of negative complaints, and then it's going to look bad on you. But if you put in a good attitude and you have fun, a lot of the customers will have a good time, and your bosses will come to you and be like, you did a great job today. And being able to get recognized in that way feels good. So that's what you want, regardless of how shitty you hate your job, or however shitty your job is, or if you hate it. Always try to put in good effort, and always try to have a good attitude regardless of what you do, because it's for you. It's not for the company. Who cares? If you don't want to do it for the company, don't do it for the company. Do it for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Well said. Pretty
Yeah.
much. Just always be your best self, no matter what.
Yeah,
Always
20
be conquering.
22. Always beat your prior best in everything you do. Always want to be you. Yeah.
Well,
So
this goes back to becoming once again being your best self at all times. You always want to beat your records, like marathon runners. They always want to get their best time. Same thing in every concept of life. Every time you do something, next time you want to do it better.
yeah,
That's all
it's like
about
working out
that's all
too.
about what we preach on this channel. Always be evolving and always be getting better every single little thing you do.
Yeah, it's like working out. You want to beat your personal best. You want to hit a new max for like a bench press. Let's say you want, instead of hitting 250, you want to get to 265 or something like that. You want to get that next level. You want to try to overcome the things that you've already gotten to. You want to just be better. You want to be your best self, but you want to improve constantly. You don't want to be stagnant. You always want to improve slow. It might not be as high, but as long as there is an improvement and you are doing your best to improve on certain either personal bests or whatever it is, just put in that work and you'll get there. And it'll help in the long run. 23, acting as if all the time will eventually require you to become who you're acting like. Ugh, here we go. You try to, I think this was kind of explained with what I was trying to say before. I would tell me if I'm right or wrong, Andrew, on this. But I feel like this is like what I was saying before with the whole Andrew Tate thing. If you try to emulate Andrew Tate, then eventually you'll become a millionaire. But that's not really the case. It's more of just learning from the things that they've done, and then just doing it on your own, being you. You don't want to completely copy and paste yourself as this person, and hoping that you'll lead to become a multimillionaire, whatever person like that. That usually never works that way. You always got to do things on your own, and you got to do it by being you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to, you have to, it's all, people say fake it until you make it, but you got to make it eventually. But that
Yeah,
comes with practice and repetition and keep trying, getting a little bit better. And eventually you have to keep trying to make it. You don't want to try to be fake. You want to be authentic. So at least you're trying, you can act as if, but not forever. You have to become, right?
yeah,
You have to become eventually. But it only happens if you do the work, focus on yourself, you get the work done, and you try to become better, not just being a fake, but actually being genuine and putting the work in that is necessary to become better at anything you do.
yeah, exactly. So we'll hit 24, which is work for a great leader to shadow and duplicate. The right leader matters more than the right industry.
Yeah,
And yeah,
same thing as like finding a powerful mentor to learn from and put your ego aside and just do what your mentor says. You have to be able to learn. You have to be able to listen in order to learn and not have your ego get in the way all the time.
yeah,
Sometimes you got to put the ego down and be willing to learn and accept that you don't know what you don't know.
yeah, and never, and uh, the first law of 48 laws of power: never outshine the master. You want to learn from people who are mentors or masters to you, but you don't want to overdo it. But you need to understand and learn from the people who know a lot more than you in the specific things that you do. um and if you like move jobs, change jobs a lot, and trying to find what they call the right industry uh for you to work for, sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes you just need someone to really help you. I take this as also like with managers. You might work for a great company, but you might have a shitty manager that makes it like unbearable for you to work at, and you might really hate working for that person. But it might not be the actual company itself, it's just that one person. And sometimes a lot of workers that are very good at their jobs, they'll leave their job because they can't deal with that specific leader. Because but if you have a good leader, if you work for a good leader, regardless if the company is great or not, if as long as you work under someone who is teaching you, and it makes the time that you're there bearable and fun and positive, that's really what matters. It doesn't matter if the company itself is like a really shitty company or vice versa. Well, no, you want the company. It doesn't matter if the company is shitty or not, as long as the leader is good, and as long as the person that you're learning from is good, then you'll be fine. But if the
Exactly.
leader is shitty, if the leader is shitty, then it's over. It just won't work.
Got to be willing to learn.
And then 25, don't have too many rules. It'll overwhelm you, which
Yeah, a
is kind
lot.
of hilarious because there's 25 rules and that's the last rule.
Yeah, a lot of people. Well, a lot of people they overthink and overanalyze every single thing. So a lot of times you need to simplify life and just sometimes go with the flow and try to be like water and try to adapt to any situation, right? So it comes down. So if you have too many rules, you overthink things, you go crazy. Like, oh, I can't do this because I do this, and then you just go absolutely nuts. You don't want to end up like that. You
Yeah.
want to have a sober mind and be able to critically think, but also be able to just go through the motions and just keep hustling. Don't create too many rules because sometimes you will have to break rules in order to do certain things because everyone has a different individual situation. Sometimes you have to go above and beyond, break some rules just to get what you need to get done so you can get to the next level in the game. That's all it is. It's all what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And with having too many rules, you might stretch yourself thin on like trying to maintain inside that bubble of rules. You might stretch yourself into a way where you're trying to get things done, but you have certain expectations or certain standards on how things need to be done, and so like sometimes you try to go in different directions to maintain in there, and sometimes you might stretch yourself thin, and like you said, like you might end up breaking rules. You don't really want to do that. And even in correlation with Patrick Bet-David's uh, list of rules here for young men, you can even in theory take a lot of these rules and put them and bundle them with other rules because that they relate. And so I feel like even with that, like you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many things. And so even this could possibly be overwhelming for some people. But if you couple certain rules with other ones, like earlier with the where to go before. It was the I think it was the loved ones. Yeah, lose the loved ones, and there was another one up here a little bit more like never, or even with never marry a girl. You could put a lot of these things all together, and you can make them work together. Even becoming a successful person, talk and press less. That can go with work for a great leader. Like you can just couple these rules together, and it won't overwhelm you as much too. But yeah, so these are the 25 rules from Patrick Bet-David. I think Patrick Bet-David did a good job on outlining these rules. Like even though I said before, like you could in theory couple them, but I feel like having them separate like this definitely is easier on the eye, and it's easier to really have a conversation about each one, which we did. We did like an hour's worth of conversating about this,
Yeah,
and
guys. So
I think he did a good job.
yeah, I think these are really good to follow and really good things to understand, especially as a man navigate, especially, the young man navigating through this world doesn't really know what he's doing. He's kind of trying to find himself. I think these rules could be very helpful, and I hope you guys found value in this video. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Help us out. You can also donate to the Cash App if you want to, link in the description below, if you want to support the channel and all the funds and the hard work that we put into this channel. So with that said, leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know what you think about this kind of stuff. And we're going to see you in the next video or live stream.